I wasn't supposed to see it. For months, Silicon Valley had been vibrating with rumors, whispers drifting through coffee shops, late-night Discord servers, and private Slack channels. A device so confidential that even Apple engineers working in the same building weren't cleared to know it existed. They called it Vision Pro 2. Some said it could change everything. Others said it would end the smartphone era entirely. Today, I was about to find out the truth. When I stepped into the underground lab, the temperature shifted, cool, sterile, humming with energy. The air smelled like heated circuits and that quiet tension right before a secret is revealed. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, and on it, the headset, not bulky, not overly futuristic, just sleek, minimal, almost too perfect, as if it had been designed to disappear into your reality. I hesitated for a moment. Then I picked it up. The moment it touched my face, the world went silent. First, nothing. Just darkness. Then, like someone flipping a switch, the room rearranged itself. Virtual screens drifted into existence, emails hovering to my left, my calendar expanding in front of me, photos from years ago shimmering in the air as if they were memories made visible. But this wasn't normal augmented reality. Nothing felt artificial. Every object was responsive, alive, reacting to my presence like it was aware of me. Vision Pro 2 wasn't just lighter, faster, or sharper. It was intuitive, like it could read my intention before I even acted on it. The eye tracking alone felt supernatural. Wherever I looked, the interface followed effortlessly, precisely. I didn't use the device. I thought, and it responded. Holographic workspaces expanded around me as if they were physical rooms I could walk through. When I leaned back, windows reorganized themselves. When I focused on a photo, the system enlarged it gently, almost respectfully, as if it understood what I wanted before I did. That's when I noticed my phone on the table. Dark, silent, suddenly irrelevant. Everything a phone could do, messaging, browsing, gaming, work, now floated in midair, controlled by nothing but my eyes and my mind. And slowly, a realization washed over me. This wasn't a headset. It was the replacement for every screen in my life. Curiosity pulled me outside. The sun hit me, and then the world transformed. AR-powered directions flowed onto the pavement like glowing pathways. Notifications materialized beside strangers as they walked by. Billboards shifted, adapting their ads to whoever passed. The entire city became an intelligent interface. Apple wasn't building a device. They were building a new reality, a blended layer of digital and physical that followed you everywhere. Imagine a world with no smartphones, no laptops, no TVs, just you and a universe of information stitched directly into your surroundings. For workers, meetings would happen in shared AR environments. For students, classrooms would span entire virtual worlds. For creators, imagination would become a workspace. You wouldn't go online. You'd be online all the time, everywhere, seamlessly. And the deeper I went into the Vision Pro 2's ecosystem, the clearer Apple's strategy became. They weren't just upgrading hardware. They were taking control of the next interface of human life. Inside the headset, I could grab digital objects with a glance, resize screens with a subtle gesture, drag holographic apps across my environment like they were physical tools made of light. Felt less like technology and more like evolution. Eventually, I removed the headset. Instantly, the world snapped back to normal, or what used to be normal. But everything felt strangely empty, as if reality had lost a layer I didn't know it needed until I saw it. The experience stayed with me, vivid, magnetic, impossible to forget. Apple Vision Pro 2 isn't just a gadget. It's a portal, a window into the era that will define the next century. And the real question isn't whether Apple can build this future. It's whether we are ready for it. A world where reality is customizable, where every moment is enhanced, guided, and personalized, where digital life and physical life become the same thing. The smartphone era is ending. The age of augmented reality as the main interface of life is beginning. And Apple might be the company quietly building the future we're all about to live in, whether we're prepared or not. For weeks, my inbox had been filled with encrypted messages from a source inside Apple. Messages that hinted at something massive. Not a product, not an update, something world-shifting. Most people thought Apple was quietly giving up on AR. But the insiders, They whispered about a project so secret it made the first iPhone look like a school science experiment. They called it Project Horizon. That's why I found myself standing in an unmarked building, 2 floors underground, staring at a security door that required 3 separate verifications just to open. When the door slid aside, I stepped into the lab, a room so silent it felt like the machines were holding their breath. And there it was, a single pedestal, a single headset, and a future that no one was prepared for. It looked like the final product of a company that already knew the next decade before anyone else could imagine it. When I put it on, I expected the usual boot-up animations, logos, menus, something familiar. Instead, the world dissolved. The lab around me melted away like fog. And suddenly, this wasn't AR. It wasn't VR. It was something in between. A blended reality so seamless my brain accepted it instantly. I raised my hand. The environment reacted before I moved a muscle. The system wasn't just tracking my gaze, it was predicting my intention. The interface read micro-expressions in my eyes, tiny shifts in focus, even the smallest twitch in my fingers. The AI felt almost sentient, not because it was alive, but because it understood me. Screens floated around me, but unlike the first Vision Pro, these weren't rigid rectangles. They bent with depth, moved with weight, obeyed physics. Felt like I could feel them. I opened the browser. Pages loaded instantly in front of my face, crisp enough to read as if printed on glass. I opened messages. The replies hovered near my hand, waiting for my attention. But the moment everything changed was when the system spoke. Not with Siri's voice, not with a robotic tone, but with a calm, human, almost warm voice that said, "What would you like to do now?" I froze. This wasn't a voice assistant. This was an interface companion, a new layer of interaction humans had never experienced. And then I understood Apple's plan. Vision Pro 2 wasn't replacing screens. It was replacing interfaces themselves, replacing the keyboard, replacing touch, replacing the need for physical hardware entirely. I took a step. The digital world followed me like it had mass. The floor changed textures. The lighting shifted to match my pace. I walked outside the lab, still wearing the headset. And that's when reality broke. The city exploded with information. Not messy, not overwhelming, but organized, intelligent, alive. Street names hovered at intersections. Floating markers indicated restaurants and stores. People walking by had subtle indicators showing their schedules, reminders, even live translation of their conversations. It hit me like a punch. This was the end of the smartphone era. Why hold a screen when the world is the screen? Why carry a laptop when your workspace is infinite? Why own a TV when movies can wrap around your field of view? But then a deeper thought hit me. If Apple controls the interface of reality, Apple controls reality. This wasn't a device. It was an ecosystem, platform, a gateway. If people adopted this, even 10% of the world, Apple would own the most valuable real estate on Earth. Your vision, every ad, every notification, every moment of digital interaction, passing through a single company's pipeline. A digital world built on top of the physical one. Designed, filtered, optimized by Apple. I finally removed the headset. The real world returned, dull and quiet. Almost too quiet. The lab wasn't glowing anymore. The screens weren't floating. Reality felt incomplete. I understood, then, why this project was so secret. Why it wasn't launching anytime soon. Why Apple was terrified of leaks. Because once Vision Pro 2 is released, nothing will ever be the same. Not technology. Not cities. Not daily life. Not even the way humans perceive the world. We're at the edge of something bigger than the iPhone, bigger than the internet, bigger than any interface before it. The smartphone era is fading. The age of augmented reality is rising. And Apple, quietly, carefully, is preparing to reshape the very fabric of human experience.